I'd like to introduce now Joel Chambers. Joel Chambers owns a Rutherglen-based contracting business that delivers sustainable viticultural and agricultural services to grape growers, winemakers and farmers. A seventh generation farmer and vigneron, Joel's business Chambers Agriculture and Viticulture blends innovation with tradition, offering trimming, crimping, mulching and full vineyard management. Joel runs 200 acres and leases 1,000 more for lamb and fodder. He's just one of 5 contractors nationwide offering undervine straw mulching. Chambers Agriculture and Viticulture helps clients achieve sustainable wine growing and carbon neutral certification, proving sustainability isn't just ethical, it also boosts resilience and results. Thanks, Joel.
Thanks, Nicki. Just figure out how to use this first. Oh, yep, how good's that? So today I'll just focus on talking about Lake Moodemere Estate. This is my parents' business, and over the last 3 years or 2-ish 3 years, we've been going through a carbon neutrality process, getting certified, which has been a big learning curve. So we're a 7th generation grape growing farming family. This little map here, that's primarily our grape growing enterprise, and the vineyard is just right there. So I'll cover topics today, the decision making process for why to go carbon neutral for us, why to seek certification, steps that we took to reach certification, and the experience, what we learnt along the way, and practical steps that grape growers can take on their properties to reduce emissions and improve sustainability. So that one, number 4, I'll delve into a fair bit. So with the decision-making process for us at Lake Moodemere, we got certified sustainable in 2021. We felt that was a really good system. It was a good framework. It made sense, and we wanted to take it one step further. We had a lot of questions from customers of ours. Have you thought about carbon neutrality? Do you know your baseline emissions? What are your emissions to produce wine? And we didn't know any of those. So we jumped in. As well as that, the government pledge for net zero by 2050. I've always found it that if it's going to go that way, then we may as well get stuck in and learn about the process before we're forced to learn about it. Consumer values were a big thing, and increased market access. So with sustainability certification, you get market access to things like Qantas business flights and stuff. You can, if you're happy to produce your wine, those little bottles, they'll put you in their website. So steps we took to receive our certification. So it started off as investigating the process. Was it possible for our small business? Lake Moodemere is primarily made up of myself and my mother and father. We actually had to ask ourselves, is this something we want to do? It's just putting a bigger workload on us. Is it worth doing? And that got us asking the question, what's the difference between Sustainable Wine Growing Australia certification and carbon neutral certification? So we thought it was worth doing. The difference basically is Sustainable Wine Growing Australia doesn't really help you baseline your emissions at all. It's all about vineyard practices, how to lower your emissions, produce eco-friendly wine, fruit, all of that. It's a great tool. It's like a gateway drug. And then you just go on to looking at actually how to baseline your emissions. So from there, because we knew nothing, we engaged a consultant to streamline us and educate through the process. I'll say now that was costly. and we got rid of that consultant as quickly as possible once we got out in what we needed. It was really handy because from that we baseline the emissions. We decided to certify our product, being bottled wine, and our business. So we had to discuss whether or not to just do one or the other. We found it beneficial to do both. There's different prices for those as well. And then we had to choose a certification body. So again, probably not knowing much about it, we jumped in and just went with the government regulator, government body, Climate Active. So learnings along the way, carbon inventory and carbon calculating. I thought I could probably be in charge of it all and do it all as I was with sustainable certification. That was very wrong. So my mother Belinda actually has done most of the heavy lifting because most of your carbon accounting comes out of your accounting software. So we use Xero. So most of it is actually able to be drawn out there. She wasn't very impressed with that, but it's just how it was. So types of certifications, business and product. Briefly spoke about that. It's really important to look into this. We found to get the full benefit from our consumers, our Seller Club members, we could have got our product certified, but the question would just come back to, well, what are your emissions for your business? And then with doing that, we've got a restaurant, so we also had to get our restaurant emissions baseline, which pushed our emissions up. But the reporting periods and true-ups. So reporting periods are financial year. True-ups, so we've done 2 reporting periods now and 1 true-up. I'm still not entirely around what a true-up is, but when we did it last time, it was basically just re-reporting any data within a small time frame to accurately represent our reporting period, I think. But I put that in there because it's something that gets requested and you have to submit it. So it's one of those new things that just sort of grabs you without much notice. The financial cost from start to finish, an ongoing cost. So that could, with a consultant, that can be anywhere between 10 to 20,000 for a smaller business like us. We produce about 60 to 80 tonne of fruit per year, depending on what we want to pick. And then learning what the big emitters of carbon in our business were. So at agriculture, which had a whole heap of stuff lumped into us, not just vineyard, that was 23% of our total 94 tonne of carbon emitted for our business. And then we found 50%, it was actually slightly more than 50% comes from scope 3, and which is essentially our Seller Club, delivery of wine to members. There's not much we believe we can do in our position to lower scope 3, other than cancelling our Seller Club, which would be a bad economic decision. We focus on trying to lower our emissions even more in the vineyard. We've done a pretty good job. There's a couple of things that we have changed to continue lowering emissions, but practical steps that we're looking at again. Cover cropping, straw mulching, crimping, just reducing tractor runs anywhere that's possible. So crimping and straw mulching, all of these achieve that in some way or another. Efficient equipment investment. So that one is definitely, if you can afford it, or you have a piece of equipment that's a single row piece of equipment in viticulture and you want to upgrade to a twin row, that's incredibly beneficial. You halve your labour, you halve your fuel, you halve your maintenance, everything. Biodiversity plans, which goes hand in hand with cover cropping. Utilising livestock for winter grazing where possible. That's a That's a really important one for us because we produce fat lambs, and they're great for reducing your herbicide runs as well, and producing your own biostimulants and fertiliser. So with cover cropping, we've been cover cropping for since maybe 2017-18. Multi-species mixes are definitely, they're the better ones, or definitely recommended, as Mary was saying. I always go for multi-species that is always a bit heavier in cereals, because I want to get fattening potential from our lambs. So that's a good diversity, income stream diversity where we are in Rutherglen, because I don't know what a fat lamb's worth here, but what's a 50 kilogram lamb worth? Does anyone know? It's about $300 in Victoria, and a tonne of Shiraz in Rutherglen at the moment is about 250. So yeah, it's beneficial to run livestock through the vineyard right now. Other benefits are enhanced soil health, increased biodiversity, enhanced beneficial insect activity. So that photo there, that's an annual ryegrass. Allowing it to just grow right through the season from grazing. You do run the risk of frost there, but I like to look at frost as a bit of fruit thinning. So allowing it to flower, get to that point, all of your insects, that's become a habitat for lady beetles, wasps, bees, lizards, snakes, all the good things. And then you can come through prior to harvest, because any contract crew, they hate working in that. Prior to harvest or prior to grape picking, fruit thinning, any of that, you just come through with a crimper and roll it over. Yeah, so crimping's beneficial as well, because then you're left with about anywhere between 15-20 centimetres of dry matter. Straw mulching has been a game changer for us. So we're able to harvest our stubbles. So that was a really, really good wheat stubble. So that was roughly a 6 to 7 tonne crop. So we'll go in, windrow it, bale it up, bring it over to the vineyard, let it decompose over there rather than out in the paddock. Soil moisture retention is a big game changer there. We're in quite a warm climate. We don't have access to a lot of water. It's great for weed management. Your water usage cuts that right back, increases soil health and worm activity. We're finding there's a really nice microclimate underneath that straw. Yeah, last 4 years, if you apply it densely enough, which is about that height, and it might scare a lot of people when you do it for the first time, but it breaks down quite quickly. Removes the need to use herbicide at all. Yeah, saves chemical, fuel, labour and emissions. So this one, biostimulants and fertiliser. We've been really big into biostimulants for quite a while. That photo there, they're worm farms. And they just chip away. We put our restaurant waste in there, leaves, rotten hay bales, whatever, sheep manure, all sorts of stuff goes in there, and the worms just chip away, produce worm juice. Prior to that, we were buying shuttles off producers like Fair Dinkum Fir or other producers, and they had a little bit of organic nitrogen, and they were mainly kelp with a little bit of humic acid and fulvic. But they retailed at about $5,500 for a shuttle. 2 years ago, we just started making our own. So just put a bit of fulvic acid, kelp, what do you call them? Kelp, Mary might know. But yeah, it's just the dry stuff that you buy. Kelp powder. Yeah, chuck some of that in. And if you're looking for yields, you can put dissolved urea in with, yeah, again, we've got too much vineyards, so we're not really looking to increase yields in that way. but some people are trying to get 8 to 10 tonnes to the hectare, so dissolving a little bit of urea in is, it's a lot more economical than doing a base broadcast. Cell grazing. We find cell grazing to be a very handy tool. So this photo was last year. We had a really dry year last year. That was a triticale, wheat and oaten cover crop. So that was just seed we had left over from our broadacre operation. Ran out of feed, so all of the crops need to be locked up to go into their seed phase. But we had this really handy cover crop sitting about that high out in the vineyard. So we brought the sheep in, locked about 200 sheep into 2.5, 3 hectare, let them eat the whole thing down and pulled them back out, and that cover crop grew back up to about there, flowered, and we got all the benefits out of the diversity, microclimate and everything that created as well. Organic fertiliser from sheep manure. There was quite a lot of that left over. It probably, in the big scheme, like large scheme of things, it's probably not adding that much nitrogen or anything, but yeah, it's got to be adding something. When you pull them out, there's just crap everywhere. And again, the diversity in enterprise, like the opportunities, even if you don't have sheep, you might have a neighbour who does, and you can run some agistment deal or get the benefits of selling your own lambs or buy in lambs, fatten them for a bit. So the opportunities for wine producing businesses in carbon neutrality we find. Staying ahead of the pack, that's something I've heard a lot today. It does sound like a lot of these carbon markets and education around carbon farming is going to become a requirement. So it is good just to get your head around it early. Increased market edge in the wine industry. The questions are being asked for carbon credentials, sustainability credentials, a lot more so than in the broadacre livestock side. We barely ever get asked. And solidifying our commitment to the environment we operate in. So if we don't look after our soil, it's not going to look after us. So negatives of carbon neutral certification. The changing rules and regulations, and this all comes down to your certifying body. So Climate Active's changing rules and regulations seem to be weekly. Climate Active don't allow insetting as an offset, so it's disappointing in that way, because we, like a lot of people, we've been working on soil carbon. We started off at about 1.2%, we're up to 2.3 or 2.4 since 2017, because it wasn't registered or all of that. It means nothing. Hopefully that's changing though. That some certifying bodies do accept insetting. The cost from start to finish, it's an incredibly costly exercise. If you're good enough to do it without a consultant, that'll go down drastically. But yeah, see how you go. And then ongoing fees as well. That's another thing with Climate Active. Their fees go up. I feel quarterly. So ongoing fees. So where are we now? So 2 years of certification. Currently we're reviewing our carbon neutrality certification due to the fees alone. We're handling the reporting and all of that fine, but it is getting to the point where it's just really, really costly. We're investigating new certifying bodies to see if the cost can be reduced while maintaining certification for both our product and business. And that's just looking around for who other people are certified by. We're having a look at a certifying body called TOTU. They're over in New Zealand. So yeah, if they can bring it down, we'll continue. If they can't, we might press pause for a while. But yeah, regardless whether we stay certified or not, we've learned a lot in the process, and we're going to continue to make emissions reductions as a business. Any questions?
Just a quick, are you having to kind of achieve carbon neutrality through Climate Active? Are you actually having to go out and buy credits, or have you been able to get everything down to net off just with what you've been able to do?
So we had to buy credits, which is frustrating because I believe with our property and our ability to inset. For example, we've got 20 hectares of firewood plantation which was not allowed to be recognised. So, and even had the suggestion to cut that down and replant and start a project on that 20 hectares. So we did buy credits to get our certification.
And with the New Zealand, is there any more flexibility in allowing you to remove carbon within your own system with the New Zealand?
Yeah, from what I understand, Totu allow insetting. So, even if they don't, they're going to start. It'll be a international requirement. Another thing about Climate Active I didn't realise, Climate Active are not internationally recognised. They don't follow the international law for carbon farming. So while we're certified in Australia, if we exported, which we're not going to, we wouldn't be recognised in any of those carbon neutral markets.
You mentioned you use Euro for your accounting platform.
Yeah.
I might have missed it, but did you say you had another emission calculator?
Sorry, what was that?
Have you used emission calculations before? Like you calculate?
Oh, no. So, with the like all the reporting through Climate Active, they send you templates, and they essentially draw the templates from zero or whatever accounting software. So they give it to you in a format where they push you to just utilise your accounting software. All right, that's it. Oh no, one more.
My brother does a lot of straw mulching and he always complains about grazing in the patches where he's done straw mulching. Do you graze where you've done it, or do you avoid grazing so that the sheep don't spread the straw around them?
Yeah, avoid grazing for probably the first season. So especially if it's fresh, because it's still like really fluffy and hasn't broken down. But that's the benefit of cover cropping and putting something in there really nutritious for sheep. They'll always go for the green feed before they go for your straw. And that photo I put up, that was a bad example because that was on its fourth year of straw mulch. So yeah, I really didn't mind if they ate it because it needed reapplying.
Yeah.
I don't know if this is maybe a question more for Julian or Nicki. Do you know if like SWA are actually looking at whether they can fill a gap with things like Climate Active not quite coming up to the mark?
I've asked them to.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think producers need to stick the boot into the bodies a bit, supporting bodies to help us along the way with carbon neutral certification, especially if we're going to go down that path or be pushed down that path. But yeah, it'd be great if AWRI and Wine Australia, Wine Vic, who's in charge of New South Wales, DPI,